Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and I personally believe that EA has made the best decision for themselves in years. Every single E3 it comes around, EA does their thing, and it's always incredibly lackluster. For years, I've been hoping that they would just get rid of their press conference and either do EA Play or do nothing at all, because often they show up with just developmental footage, prototypes, or words and no action, and it has been incredibly infuriating. So it's pretty exciting in a sense, and I'll get into why, on them announcing that EA Play is going to be the focus of their 2019 E3 adventure. So I'm going to read the whole press release from the EA site, and I'll get into why this is actually a positive thing and I'm not just slam dunking EA here. 2019 will mark our 4th year of EA Play. What we envisioned as a celebration of play has become an incredible moment that we love to share with the community each year. We are so grateful to all our fans who have joined us, and we look forward to making this year an even better experience. This year you'll see less talk and more play, with an event entirely focused on the heartbeat of EA Play, our player communities and the games they love. There will be first hands-on with some of their biggest games, exclusive content from some of the most popular creators in the world, free for all to attend. It all starts this year on Friday night, June 7th, 2019, with an all-new EA Play kickoff event. We're skipping the press conference this year and are replacing it with multiple live streams that will air during the first 2 days of the event, bringing you more of what you've told us you want, more gameplay and insights from the teams making the games. And weekends are meant for play, and this year we've moved the EA Play Fan Fest to Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th, where players can get their hands on our games. We'll also have content creators streaming from our Creators Cave and yada yada yada. Pretty much the rest isn't that important. Here's why this is good news, because EA is incredibly broad with their press conference. They cover sports, mobile games, Star Wars, indie titles, and often what happens when you sit down for one of these E3 press conferences from EA, you're looking for one thing. For me, it's Star Wars, and they always saved Star Wars for last. They'd always book it at the end of the show, so I had to sit through mostly stuff that I was open-minded to, but that I didn't care about or ended up not enjoying, so most of their show was a slog until the end. And especially when we got the announcement of Jedi Fallen Order from Respawn of all studios, and it was just a word-of-mouth interview of Vincent Pella sitting in the crowd. This type of stuff just needs to stop, right? Like, that just showed lack of preparation, lack of anything to show, lack of substance, and I can really attest to that personally because I've gone to E3 a bunch of times, and my flight always ended up happening during the EA press conference. And normally, as a gaming news outlet, especially one who occasionally covers Star Wars, it'd be pretty important for me to catch what EA is doing, right? But I never ever had a concern, and I think that says so much about what they bring to their showcase, because it's never anything of substance. And every time I'd hop off the plane, I'd send out a tweet, what did I miss? And people would be like, not much, just like one game maybe. And especially in the case of Jedi Fallen Order, I was like, oh man, did I miss something good? And people are like, no, they just sort of talked about the idea of it. Point being is that EA's press conference has gone downhill year after year, and what this approach does is allows us to pick out what live streams we want to tune into. So let's say EA's like, we're doing a sports one at 2 p.m. and then a Star Wars one at 4 p.m. Well, I'm going to skip the sports one, even though I play sports, I'm not interested in sports games. I'm going to go ahead and tune into the Star Wars one at 4 o'clock. So it allows us to pick out what type of content we want to watch, and all of a sudden, EA's E3 is a lot more exciting for me personally, because I know I get to see what I want when I want. I don't have to sit through a pretty drab press conference. And also, this is another sign that E3 is sort of becoming a relic of the past. It's becoming not the best option for companies when you can have a direct line with your fans and you can set up a little event at a much cheaper cost and still get that same attention and not compete with everyone at E3. I think the biggest sign of that is we see, for example, Nintendo, who can throw a little Nintendo Direct out there on a Tuesday in the middle of the month and make all the noise in the industry, and it would be announced a single day beforehand. I think game companies are starting to realize that surprise factors are really huge, and that E3 is losing its luster, and that pretty much just doing your own thing can actually save money and also be equally beneficial as going to E3. Anyway, I just wanted to briefly share my thoughts here. Not much else to go on. I'm hoping to see a lot of Jedi Fallen Order at E3. In fact, that's the only game I can think of from EA right now that I'm looking forward to seeing more from. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of Anthem fans, you can probably expect to see a big update for that at E3, and maybe more Star Wars Battlefront 2 DLC, because that game is finally getting on track back getting some real content, and it's really calling my name as of lately, so I may hop back into that. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Do fire away, ladies and gentlemen. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that, as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.